Hey guys, and welcome on into another episode of Picks on Net, NHL Picks and Stats. I'm your host, Terry Edelmann at TPicks over on X, and you can find me, of course, over on Picks and Parlays, Winners and Winers, and Stat Salt for premium plays. And we had a successful day yesterday overall, and we'll start, of course, as we normally do, taking a look back at what happened on yesterday's show. But before we do that, I want to mention a special deal over on the Picks and Parlays website right now. Hat Trick All Access Pass, $49, gets you all of my plays in the NHL for 3 full days, including any best bets that I happen to have. Go and get those over on picksandparlays.net. But taking a look at what happened yesterday, Josh Norris over half a point. Unfortunately lost. This was my best bet on the show yesterday, but Josh Norris unable to get a point there for the Buffalo Sabres. I did have Sabres money line as a 2-unit play over on the site. Got a little close there at the end. It was 2-0. Everything was looking good. The Devils made it 2-1. Of course, you're a little bit worried there in the extra moments that the game could get tied, but Sabres got the job done. Darren Radish, over half an assist, also lost, unfortunately. Not a great game by Tampa Bay offensively, but unfortunately Radish unable to find the score sheet there. But the final game of the night, Jackson Lacombe over half an assist, a nice winner here. And my 3-unit best bet in the NHL, the over 6.5, which I got at minus 112 in this game. The line really moved, but that cashed pretty easily. Thank you to everyone that purchased that 3% play, that cashed with me on the over. So overall, yesterday, I believe I finished up just 2.8 units overall. So 1 and 2 day on the show yesterday. Going to look to improve on that today and got a lot of plays. So, of course, trying to go a little bit lower volume here coming back from the break, but lots of plays that I like here on today's slate. And then, of course, we'll jump into the chat here and see what people are thinking. Hey, Book, how's it going? Nice to see you. And Robert, Olin Zellweger, monster goal prop for yesterday. Very nice. Very, very nice. But before we get into today's slate, I wanted to obviously show you what I have over on the site today. Thursday NHL side play, a 2-unit play in the NHL as well. NBA 2-unit play also. Currently up 7 units in my last 7 NBA plays. Number 1 capper in the NHL since November 5th. Up almost 42 units in the NHL since November 17th. And 2-unit plays, I'm up almost 12 units on the site all time in 2-unit plays, 8 and 2. So we're rolling right now, and I'm going to look to keep it going here in today's slate. But we're going to jump right into it here and start with the very first game, which is the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Boston Bruins. Columbus, minus 105, road dogs. Boston, minus 115, home favorites, and a total of 6.5 here in our first game. And looking at this one here, this Columbus Blue Jackets team was one of the hottest teams heading into the Olympic break. And I was betting on them almost on a nightly basis during that streak. They just had a really good schedule to go on a run into that Olympic break. Of course, the coaching change, Rick Bowness, really brought a difference to that team, and they played really well heading into the Olympic break on a win streak. Now, unfortunately, it's been 20 days, and one of the worst things for a team that is on a big win streak is to then have a 20-day break, because it's very possible you could lose momentum after that break. Boston Bruins enter the Olympic break losing back-to-back games against both Florida teams. 6-5 shootout loss to Tampa, 5-4 shootout loss to Florida. And Boston actually went to overtime in 4 or 5 games before the break. So a lot of overtime games there. Getting the win against Nashville, but losing against the Rangers, Tampa, and Florida. So Boston will be looking to get the win here. This Columbus Blue Jackets team, really great down the stretch. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12 and 1 in their last 13 games on a 7-game win streak heading into the break. But to start that, a game against Dallas, 1-0, an 8-5 win against Tampa Bay. Those are 2 pretty impressive wins to start that streak. Then they played Philly, Chicago, St. Louis, New Jersey, and Chicago. So one of the reasons why I was on the Blue Jackets in most of those games is because that was just a great stretch of games to face those 5 opponents. Now things are going to get a little bit more tougher here. Obviously, the Columbus Blue Jackets are fighting this Boston Bruins team to make a playoff spot. The Bruins currently in the second last wild card spot last time I checked, and Columbus obviously a few points out. So Blue Jackets will look to get the win here. They went 2-1 against Boston last year. However, Boston went 8-1 in the previous 9. So Columbus has had more recent success. Boston has owned Columbus long term. Previous games, when it comes to a total of 6.5, 1 over and 4 unders in the most recent meetings. So we have seen some lower scoring games between these two. But as I said on yesterday's show, first of all, I'm not much of an under bettor as it is. It'll be rare to get an under for me, but especially not at this point in time. Maybe later on, closer when we're getting closer to the playoffs, if there's teams on under streaks that are playing that low type score hockey and they're in an under streak, then I might look at them. But when it comes to this one here, we're going with Charlie Coyle over half a point plus 100 here in this one. Since Rick Bowness took over, Charlie Coyle has been one of the hottest players for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Entering the break, he had a point in 5 of his last 6 games, quite a few multi-point games during that stretch. And now he's facing his former team, his hometown team in his hometown. And he's plus money to get a point in a game that I do think will have some goals. Give me Charlie Coyle over half a point plus 100 here to start off the show. Let's jump into it. Hello, everyone. Hi, Tim. How's it going? Kings are not good. Had the money line with Buffalo. Yeah, not good. Coyle playing his former team. Yeah, all over it. All over it. What's up, Terry? I took Marchment for a point and Jackets plus 100 for a half unit each. Best of luck, Sweet Pickles. Best of luck. Hi, Addison. How's it going? Yeah, when I look at the side here, it's very difficult. And I was looking at the side here, and I can't pick a side in this one because it wouldn't surprise me to see this game go to overtime and be an incredibly close game, maybe a back and forth type game between these two teams. But very difficult for me to bet a side. If you're going on what happened heading into the Olympic break, then obviously you're going to be on Columbus because they were red hot in this Boston Bruins team, losing some games heading into the break. But for me, just a player prop, will go with Coyle over half a point here in this one. But taking a look at some other players that are playing well heading into this game with some value, Marat Kusadinov had a point in 4 games in a row for the Bruins, plus 136. Entering the Olympic break, he was really heating up. And then assist streaks, Charlie McAvoy, 6 games in a row with an assist. I'm not 100% sure if he's playing tonight. I believe a game time decision, but don't quote me on that. There's lots of unknown statuses with players here today. And then Charlie Coyle assist, 4 of his last 5 games, plus 190. So if you want to go with the big plus money, you can go with Coyle. Renski assist, 4 of his last 5 games, minus 125. Morgan Geeky, 3 games in a row with an assist, plus 140 in this game. So definitely some other players you could look at if you like some goals here in this one. And then goalies, Elvis Merzlikins for Columbus and Jonas Korpisalo for the Boston Bruins. Both goalies have pretty similar numbers overall on the season. But we will jump into our next game, which is the Detroit Red Wings and the Ottawa Senators. Detroit plus 125, road dogs. Ottawa minus 150, home favorites, and a total 6 here in this one. Looking at previous games between these two teams, Detroit 2-0 against the Senators this season, but Ottawa was 6-0-1 in the previous 7. So heading into this season, the Senators had a lot of success against Detroit, but losing both games to Detroit this year, 5-3 in Ottawa, and then a 4-3 overtime loss in Detroit for the Sens. Looking at how these two teams entered the Olympic break, Detroit was on a losing streak. They had lost 4 of their last 5 games. Their only win being against Colorado, 2-0 win against Colorado, but that was right after a 5-0 loss to Colorado. They lost to LA 3-1, 4-3 in a shootout to Washington, and 4-1 to Utah. So Detroit, not in the best form entering the break, probably a team that was happy to see the Olympic break come. The Ottawa Senators on the other side probably weren't too happy that the Olympic break came. Really starting to look good in their recent games. 5-1 in their final 6 games. They beat Vegas 7-1, Colorado 5-2, New Jersey 4-1, Pittsburgh 3-2, a 4-3 loss to Carolina, and a 2-1 overtime win against Philly. So Ottawa looked great heading into the break. Detroit did not. When I look at this one from a side perspective, it's pretty tough. I think the break came at the right time for the Detroit Red Wings. If I was looking at a side here in this one, I would be looking at Detroit at the plus money here to get an upset win, but I want to see a game from them first before I back them. However, I will be on a player prop, and he is a game time decision. He's been dealing with an illness, but taking him anyways. I took him anyways. Give me Tim Stützle, anytime goal, plus 195. Why am I taking Tim Stützle anytime goal? Well, if you missed the Olympic videos, then you probably haven't heard, or if you missed the videos right, obviously before the season went on break, Tim Stützle, the hottest goal scorer in the entire world, heading into the Olympic break and through the Olympic break. He scored in 5 consecutive games and 9 of his last 12. Then had success scoring for Team Germany in the Olympics. Not every game, but he did score for us and cash some tickets for us in the Olympics. Now he's coming back here in the NHL. I'm taking him anytime goal, plus 195. If he doesn't play, then of course the bet will be void. If he does play, I like him to score here in this game. But looking at goalies here for this one, Linus Ullmark confirmed for Ottawa and John Gibson unconfirmed for Detroit. Pretty similar numbers overall. Linus Ullmark a little bit a better win-loss record, but 2.86 goals against average, 2.62 for Gibson, 904 save percentage for Gibson, 883 for Ullmark. This Ottawa Senators team plays really well. If only they could get some goaltending. If they could get some good goaltending, the Senators team might be a pain to bet against in the second half. But looking at other players playing well heading into this game, let's see here. Point-wise, not a lot of guys on streaks other than Stützle overall. Same thing with goal streaks and assist streaks. Batherson had one in 4 of his last 5 games entering the break, plus 140, and has had success against Detroit. 3 games in a row with an assist against Detroit, and 6 of the last 9. 2 multi-assist games during that stretch. So, yeah, Batherson has enjoyed facing the Detroit Red Wings in the past. Let's go to the chat here. Hi, Terry. Hey, Timothy. How's it going? Nice to see you. Detroit team total over 2.5, minus 120. I don't hate that. That's a good number, minus 120 for 2.5. I don't mind that. We'll see what happens with the goals. I don't know if you passed this already, but do you like Krill on Minnesota Wild for a point to add to my parlay? That game is at the end of the show, so I've not got to that game. But yes, Krill has great numbers against Colorado, so I would, if you are making a parlay, I would be fine with putting Krill in it. Yes, but we'll get to that game a little bit later on in the show. But on to the next one, which might be my favorite game of the night, actually. The New York Islanders and the Montreal Canadiens. The Islanders plus 125, road dogs. Montreal minus 150, home favorites, and a total of 6 here in this one. Taking a look here at previous games between these two teams. The Islanders 3-0-1 in the last 4 meetings. They've had some success against the Montreal Canadiens. However, the home team has won 9 in a row between these two teams. So sometimes when we talk about previous history, sometimes home ice doesn't really matter too much in some matchups. It does matter in this one. 9 games in a row with the home team winning. 4 of the last 6 meetings have gone over 6.5. And 4 consecutive meetings between the two teams have gone to overtime. Give me the draw, plus 310 here in this game. All 3 meetings between the two teams last year went to overtime. The last meeting in the season previous went to overtime. Both these teams, 32 wins on the season. They both went to overtime in the game before their last game entering the break, but have definitely been teams that have gone to overtime throughout the season. Obviously, heavy draw history between these two teams, and this game just screamed draw from the outset. So the draw plus 310, if you don't know where to find it in your book, it might be listed under 3-way money line, or if not, to go to overtime. If not, but like the draw, plus 310 here in this one, and going to go with the over 6 as well. Minus 110 I got it for in this one. Heavy over history between these two teams in the past, and the Islanders, 2 of their last 4 entering the break, they went over 6. The Montreal Canadiens have gone over a lot. They've also had some games that have finished with 6 goals. So Montreal over 6.5 in 6 of their last 10. 3 games that stayed under finished with 6 goals. So I know when you look at it, the Islanders, not really a team that you might want to bet over on too often, but previous history between these two teams, of course, coming off the Olympic break. When we look at goaltenders here, Samuel Montembeault is confirmed for Montreal, not having the best season, 10-8-2, 3.34 goals against average, 875 save percentage. But we do have Ilya Sorokin on the other side, 19-13-2, 2.51 goals against average, 914 save percentage. He was playing very well heading into the break, but first game back, I think we get goals here on both sides. My prediction here for this game is a 4-3 overtime win for the Montreal Canadiens. Don't be surprised if it's Cole Caulfield that scores it. The Habs have played very well in overtime this season. So we'll look to them. We'll look to the draw, and we'll look at the over 6.5. Over 6 here in this game. And this here is a 2-star, 2-unit play. The over 6 for me here in this one. Taking a look at player props here. I don't have any, I know, but already took the over. We're not going to load up in this one. But players that were playing really well heading to the break, Noah Dobson, who is going to be facing his former team. Oh, I may have to add something here in this game. Dobson, a 5-game point streak heading into the Olympic break, 0.7 of his last 10 games. He's plus 135 to get a point here and facing his former team for the first time. Dobson is a great bet here in this one. Other guys, point-wise, not really a lot heading into the break. For the Islanders, Matthew Barzal, 4 games in a row with a goal, plus 225. I think he's a good goal prop here for this one. Bo Horvat, back-to-back games, plus 185. He's scored in. And then assist streaks, Dobson, 4 of his last 5 games with an assist, plus 195 here. And this one probably should end up getting to something with Noah Dobson here in this game. But we'll jump into the chat and see what people are thinking here. Let's see. Ellerin Stutzel's spot at the morning skate. Yeah, game time decision. We'll see if he plays or not. We'll see. Goal Caulfield, anytime goal, plus 140. Not a bad look. Did kind of cool off a little bit there before the Olympic break, but would not shock me at all to see him get back going again. From one of your VSN colleagues, the Habs are 10-0 to the over this season. First teams giving up less than 2.9 goals per game. Wow. That's really surprising. So when the Habs face a team that plays well defensively and doesn't give up a lot of goals, they're 10-0 to the over. I love it. I love it, Jonathan. I love it. New hook back, been strong and fast in practice. Yeah, I saw that. That's great news. Great news. Horvat has 6 goals in 11 games versus Monty. Okay, yeah. So Horvat, anytime goal, is definitely a good look here in this one. But we will continue on along here in this one. Going on to our next game, which is one of the games of the night. We've got 2 really good matchups in tonight's slate. And this is one of them. Tampa Bay, plus 125, road dogs. Carolina, minus 150, home favorites. And a total of 6 here in this one. Tampa Bay, 6-2 in the last 8 meetings between these 2 teams. They've had a lot of success against the Carolina Hurricanes. 6 of the last 8 going under 5.5. We've actually had quite a few low-scoring games between these 2 teams in the past. Now, of course, taking a look at goaltenders here for this one. Brandon Bussi likely to start here for Carolina. No big surprise. He's 23-3-1 on the season. 23 wins, 4 losses. Not a surprise that he's starting here. 2.16 goals against average, 905 save percentage. Tampa has not yet announced their goaltender. Of course, they did play yesterday, getting the win against Toronto. Andrei Vasilevsky starting in that game. Jonas Johansson is projected to start here, but after a 20-day break where Vasilevsky did not participate in the Olympics, he should be very well rested, and it would not shock me at all to see Tampa Bay start him again on the second night of a back-to-back. If this was Calgary that they were facing here, Jonas Johansson would 100% be getting the start. But in a game like this against a Hurricanes team, these points very well could matter for the who finishes first in the Eastern Conference when all is said and done. So this game is important. So I would not be shocked at all to see Andrei Vasilevsky start on the second night of a back-to-back. And if I like Tampa in this game, especially at the odds that we're getting here, especially if Vasilevsky does start. I like Tampa in this game, especially with the success they've had against Carolina. It's going to be interesting tonight to see how the back-to-back affects teams on the second night of a back-to-back, because there's quite a few of them that are playing on the second night of a back-to-back. So I'm interested to see how that affects all these teams with all that rest, now playing and having to play again. That's the only negative thing here for the Tampa Bay Lightning. But what I do expect from the teams that did play the night before is that they probably come out strong in the first period. So I would be looking at potentially Tampa Bay in the first period in this game if you wanted to back them here. But looking at this one here, I mentioned goalies. Here we go. Player players that are doing well heading into this game. 1 second here. Kucherov, over 1.5 points, minus 103. 4 of his last 5 games. Not a big surprise there. He's been doing well. And that leads me to my play here in this game. How could I almost forget? Give me a Braden Point. Anytime goal, plus 230 here in this one. Braden Point, of course, 2 goals last night. Looked great in the first game back for the Tampa Bay Lightning. But he's also had a lot of success against Carolina. He scored a goal in 4 of his last 5 against the Hurricanes and 6 of the last 8. So Braden Point likes to play Carolina for some reason. And we're getting great value with him here at plus 230. I know he is playing, or he is going to have to obviously face Brandon Bussey, but regardless, I like him to score here in this game. Bear with me. Sorry, guys. There we go. Plus 230, great odds for him to score here back-to-back after last night. For the Hurricanes, Jordan Staal was red hot heading into the Olympic break. Goals in 3 games in a row, 4 of his last 5, plus 450. So if you like Staal to keep up his success from before the Olympics, there's great odds for him. And Nikita Kucherov, goals in 4 or 5, he's plus 160 to score here in this one. And then assist streaks, obviously Radish assist streak ended in his last game. I'm not betting him today, did bet him yesterday. So he's likely going to cash today. That's usually how it goes. Plus 115 for Radish to get an assist, plus money here today. And that's basically about it here in this one. But we'll jump into the chat here. Tampa Bay coach still out. Father's death. Team win another one. Yeah, and see, I was when that was announced yesterday. I did expect them to come out strong for Cooper, and yeah, would not shock me to see them do it again here. So it's Logan Stankoven's birthday today. Plus 325 anytime goal. All right, I like it, Robert. I like it. Now, when it comes to the total here, I would lean with the under 6, but of course, I would want Vasilevsky in net for that. Yeah, I would lean with the under 6 here in this one, but I still obviously have a goal prop here in this one. But we'll continue on along to our next game, which is the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Florida Panthers. The Leafs plus 135, road dogs. Florida minus 160, home favorites, and a total 6 here in this game. When I look at this one here, I don't want to back either of these teams right now. The Leafs had won 3 games in a row heading into the Olympic break, but Vancouver and Calgary, not impressive wins, especially when it was a 3-2 shootout win against Vancouver. And then they beat Edmonton 5-2 in their final game before the break. But if you watched the Edmonton Oilers last night, and if you watch them heading into the Olympic break, if you have the ability to score some goals, you're probably going to do pretty well against Edmonton because they cannot stop the puck right now. So the wins for the Leafs don't really impress me that much. Coming out, facing Tampa, a very tough opponent in the first game, losing 4-2. Now having to face the Panthers on the second night of a back-to-back. Again, not an easy back-to-back here in Florida. But the Panthers weren't playing well heading into the break. They lost 4 or 5 games, 5-4 to St. Louis, 2-1 to Winnipeg, 5-3 to Buffalo. They beat Boston 5-4 in the shootout, and then a 6-1 loss to Tampa Bay. So some very high-scoring games for Florida heading into the break. Looking at previous games between these two teams, the Leafs have won both games this year, both 4-1 wins. 5 of the last 5 regular season games between these two teams have all gone under 5.5. So previous games have been very low scoring. I couldn't go near an under with either of these teams right now. But not going to take the over, especially with the heavy under history. And then when we look at props here in this game, obviously we'll start with goalie. Sergei Bobrovsky confirmed here for Florida. Joseph Woll unconfirmed, but likely here for Toronto. Looking at player props here with value, Tavares over half a point, 3 games in a row, minus 115. Matthew Nyes and John Tavares have both scored in back-to-back games. And then assist streaks, Matthews and Nylander both have assists in 4 of their last 5 games. Nylander plus 105, Matthews plus 115. Here in this game, not a lot of consistent offense from Florida heading into the Olympic break. They're going to be a team that is going to look to turn things around, but if you didn't check out the midseason grade shows I did on my YouTube, Terry Edelmann Picks, go check those out. It's going to be a tough go for the Florida Panthers to get back into the playoffs. And even if they are somehow able to squeak in, they've played a lot of hockey. I think this team would be destined for a first-round exit. So, but we'll jump into the chat. Over 6. I could see it. Hey, Terry, another day of NHL. Yes. So happy that the NHL is back. And especially happy that I get to watch the next team here. The Minnesota Wild plus 125 and the Colorado Avalanche minus 150. A total of 6.5 here in this one. I mentioned Tampa, Carolina, a really great game on today's slate. And we've got the Wild and the Avalanche as well. So this is a battle between, bear with me for a second. I was going to say the top 2 teams in the league, but Tampa Bay, Minnesota's actually tied for 4th now. But the top 2 teams in the Western Conference facing off here in this one. Minnesota 3-2 in the last 5 meetings between the 2 teams. And 4 of the previous 5 have gone under 6.5 between these 2 teams, 2 of the last 3 going to overtime. So we've had some close games between these 2 that have gone to overtime and more lower scoring games. But if you were watching this Wild team before the break, then you will know betting an under with the Minnesota Wild has not done very well for you since Quinn Hughes came. The Wild have been a over team on almost a nightly basis. 6-5, 4-3, 7-3, 4-1, but that was against Calgary, who just can't score. 4-3, 4-3, 4-3, 4-3, 6-3, 5-4, 6-2, 5-2, 4-3. A lot of overs for the Wild heading into the Olympic break. And now the Olympics are over. The Avalanche, 4 consecutive unders, back-to-back 4-2 wins. 4-2 win against San Jose before the break and a 4-2 win against Utah after the break. And when I look at this one here, I do see value with the Wild in this game, especially at plus money. Again, want to see how teams do. The Avalanche just beat Utah yesterday, now having to play in the second night. I think if you like Colorado in this game, I would probably look at them in the first period. I think they will likely come out strong here in this game. And as I said, 2 of the last 3 meetings have gone to overtime. Would not shock me to see this game go to overtime tonight. But this should be a great game to watch for sure. Looking at players with value, Eriksson Ek, 6-game point streak, minus 125. And Brock Faber, points in 4 consecutive games, plus 124. A lot of other guys in streaks like Boldy, Hughes, Kaprizov, Nishushkin, Nelson, but no value on their point props as single plays, but definitely good parlay pieces. Nelson has scored in back-to-back games heading into this one. And if I was taking a goal scoring prop here in this one, it would be Kirill the Thrill Kaprizov. He scored in 5 of his last 7 games before the break. Was racking up the assists prior, but wasn't really putting the puck in the back of the net, but really started to before the Olympic break. And he's enjoyed facing Colorado. Goals in 2 of his last 3 and 5 of his last 8 against the Colorado Avalanche. So I would look at Kirill the Thrill for a goal prop here. Quinn Hughes assist 10 games in a row, minus 140. He also got an assist in every Olympic game. I was shocked to be able to get minus 110 for Quinn Hughes assist in the gold medal game. I jumped on that right away. We don't see that here in the NHL, and we even against this Colorado Avalanche team, still Quinn Hughes assist is minus 140. So not going to get good value with that ever. Boldy, an assist in 4 of his last 5 games, plus 136. Nichushkin and Eriksson both have assists in 4 of their last 5 games, plus 150, plus 150 for Nichushkin, plus 172 for Eriksson here in this one. Kaprizov anytime goal, plus 140. He's 14 goals in 20 games versus the Avalanche. Yeah, he likes to face the Avalanche, but doesn't surprise me. Steps up against good teams. 18 of the last 20 games for Minnesota have gone over the total. One of the unders was the 5-1 loss to Colorado. I played the over 6, minus 140 at FanDuel. Others may want to wait for the in-game total to drop. Yeah, if you like the over, and that's the way to go. Wild road overs 12-1 in the last 13. That's crazy. That's crazy. Quinn Hughes. He's that much of a difference maker. And that's why I've already been given slack saying that the Wild are going to win a playoff series this year, even if they face Dallas in the first round. And Quinn Hughes is a big reason why they're going to do it. Such a difference maker. We saw that in the Olympics. Kaprizov 4 goals in 5 games versus Blackwood. Wow. McKinnon 6 goals in 9 games versus Gus, and Nichushkin 4 and 8 versus Gus. Perfect. Thank you, JD. I appreciate that. I probably should be adding Kaprizov, but big slate today. A big slate of games. But we'll continue on with our next one. 2 more games to break down, and then I believe there's 5 in the rest of the games in the slate segment, which I'll quickly go over. But Calgary plus 110, the Sharks minus 130, and a total of 6.5 here in this one. Looking at this one here, Calgary 13-2 in the last 15 meetings between these two teams. The Flames have really enjoyed facing San Jose throughout the years. The home team has won 4 in a row. The meeting between the two teams in San Jose this year was a 6-3 win for the Sharks. The Flames won the 2 games played in Calgary, 2-0 and 3-2. So the home team has won all 3 meetings this year, looking to make it 4. In this one, 5 of the last 7 meetings have actually gone under 5.5 between these two teams. So surprisingly, some low-scoring games, which wouldn't really surprise you if you look at Calgary's offense. That's for sure. This one's interesting here. The Flames, a horrible road team, 8-17-2 on the road. They won 2 of 3 heading into the Olympic break, including 3-2 against the Sharks team, while the Sharks lost 4 games in a row, all on the road heading into the Olympic break. But now they're back at home. If you missed the midseason show I did on the San Jose Sharks, I took them to make the playoffs, plus 230. I think the Sharks team gets the job done. Making the playoffs, they are a team I'm looking to bet on here in the second half. The easiest remaining schedule the Sharks have. So I'm rooting for them, obviously. Have them to make the playoffs here. This is, if they're going to make the playoffs, this is a game that they really should be winning against a team that San Jose is better than, in my opinion, here against the Flames. Goal scoring props, not a whole lot right now here. William Eklund point in 4 of his last 5 before the break, minus 110. Smith was doing well, but minus 160, no value there. Uyghur had a point in 3 games in a row for Calgary. Not a lot of goal streaks and not a lot of assist streaks either. Uyghur 3 games in a row, plus 182. Eklund, 4 of his last 5, plus 175. I will be looking to bet on Sharks props here, but might take a couple games till we see who comes out hot after the Olympic break. But I will be looking at Sharks props, not tonight, but here in the upcoming week or so. Robert likes the over 6.5 plus 100. The only thing that scares me is the Flames offense. The Flames offense is just so bad. So bad. But hey, the Sharks can give up some goals. Minus 130 for Sharks money line. Definitely don't hate it here. Taking a look at goalies for this one. Wolf unconfirmed. Ask unconfirmed here in this game. But final game of the night before we get to the rest of the games on the slate segment and my best bet of the day. Edmonton minus 110, LA minus 110, and a total of 6.5. Minus 110, minus 110 for over or under. So a pretty even game here in this one. Looking at previous games between these two teams, the Kings 4-1 in the last 5 regular season games between these two teams, but not in the postseason. So the Kings can beat Edmonton in the regular season, but then they go and lose to the Oilers in the first round, which I believe has happened back-to-back years, or it might be 3 in a row. It's been a lot of playoff losses for the Kings against the Oilers, but luckily for them, this is still the regular season here in this one. Both these two teams played last night. Both these two teams involved in high-scoring games yesterday. Hitting the over, of course, my 3% best bet. The over in the Edmonton game, 6-5. The Kings lost to Vegas 6-4. And when you're losing to Vegas Golden Knights without 5 of their best players in the lineup, that's not good. That's really not good for this Kings team, who's now lost 4 in a row. Back-to-back games against Vegas. And then Edmonton's lost 4 in a row as well. 7-3. 5-2, 4-3, and 6-5, the Edmonton Oilers. 3 of the last 4 regular season games between these two have gone under 5.5, but 6 of the last 7, including the playoff series last year, have gone over 6.5. I could only look at the over in this game. I could only look at the over. I have zero interest in betting on either of these teams. If I could bet on both of these teams to lose, I would. But somebody's got to win this one, so somebody's going to win here. I do think the over is the play. The Oilers are just an over team. You look at the Wild as an over team, so are the Oilers. LA, maybe not so much of an over team overall, but showed last night they can definitely go over the total. So definitely lean with the over here in this one. Connor Ingram unconfirmed for Edmonton. Darcy Kemper unconfirmed for the Kings. Taking a look at players on streaks here in this one. Not a whole lot to mention here. In this one, goals, not much either. Assists, Kempe, 4 of his last 5 games, plus 135 with an assist. Panarin back-to-back games, Nugent Hopkins back-to-back games with an assist. But surprisingly, not a lot of guys on streaks here that have value. We'll go into the chat. Draw plus 305. I could see it. Panarin, Kempe, point parlay, plus 100 at Hard Rock. It is minus 140 at FD. FanDuel. All right. Best of luck. I can see that. Montreal should trade for Binnington and Kyrou or Thomas. Kyrou or Thomas? Yes, for sure. Would definitely help the Montreal Canadiens. Binnington? No. And then they would go win a cup? No, not with Jordan Binnington. No. But we will go on to the rest, the other games on the slate that I did not break down because there's a lot of games in today's slate, so did not break them all down. New Jersey and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh 3-0-1 in the previous 4 meetings. 1 over, 4 unders, 1 total, finished with 6 goals. 2 of the last 5 going to overtime. I lean Pittsburgh, but without Crosby, I can't bet on this Penguins team. And the New Jersey Devils, I faded them yesterday against Buffalo. They've scored 3 goals total in their last 4 games. Not going to win too many games when you're scoring 3 goals in 4 games. Just not good enough for the Devils. And then looking at player props here. Guys who were on streaks before the break, Igor Chinnikov, points in 4 or 5. Anthony Mantha, 4 or 5. They have some value. Goal streaks, not a whole lot. And assist streaks, Malkin, 4 of his last 5 games, 7 of his last 10, plus 106. And Jack Hughes assist, 4 of his last 5 games, minus 105. This one. Chicago, Nashville, pass. Chicago 2-1-1 in the last 4 meetings, so finally starting to get some success against Nashville. They had lost 11 of the previous 12 against the Predators, so not a great opponent for Chicago overall. 4 of the last 6 have gone under 5.5. Would definitely lean with the over, but I do not want to bet this game for sure. Eric Halla points in 4 games in a row heading into the Olympic break. I believe he's a game time decision tonight, so not interested in his props overall. And that's basically it. Philadelphia and New York Rangers. The Rangers 10-3 in the last 13 meetings. 4 consecutive over 6.5s, and 3 games in a row have gone over 8.5 between the Flyers and the Rangers. So usually some very high-scoring games in this one. The Rangers getting Shesterkin back and getting Fox back. 2 huge additions to this Rangers lineup. But that doesn't make me want to bet on them. The Rangers, a team that I am still looking to fade down the stretch. Very heavy over history, but with Shesterkin back, and with the Rangers offense, don't really like the total there. Player props here for Philly and the Rangers. Guys on streaks with value. Not a whole lot. Goals, assists, not much. Not much here between these two. Seattle, St. Louis. Seattle has won back-to-back games against the Blues, both 4-3 overtime wins. But the St. Louis Blues had won 9 of the previous 11. So overall, the Blues have had a lot of success against the Kraken. 3 games in a row over 6.5, back-to-back games going to overtime. Between the Blues and the Kraken, and again, an easy pass. The Blues, not a team I'm looking to back on or bet on the second half. The Kraken did not play well last night. An easier opponent here, but no interest for me, especially in the second night of a back-to-back. I know they've been better on the back-to-backs overall this season, but no interest backing them. Player props, Jimmy Snuggerud, point 6 games in a row before the Olympic break, plus 105. I do think Snuggerud point definitely does have some value here. 3 games in a row with an assist for him at plus 220. So big plus money there in that one. Let's go to the chat. Let's go to. Thanks for the winner yesterday. Thank you for tailing, Adrian. I appreciate it. Perry playing his former team. There you go. Wild goalie stunk at the Olympics. Yeah, he didn't look good. It happens. Tippett goal, 4 of his last 5 at MSG, plus 220. Okay. Plus 270 at FanDuel. I like it. Flyers, Rangers is a rough primetime watch coming off the Olympics hype. Yeah, you're trying to get people to watch hockey and be interested in hockey, and then you have Philly and the Rangers playing. Probably not going to help that objective. Malkin, 5 goals in 10 games versus Markstrom, plus 180. All right. Steps up his game without Crosby in the past. I could see that for sure. I could see that. But on to the best bet, the show best bet segment. And looking at today's slate, my favorite bet won't be a big surprise because it's the only 2-unit play I gave you guys on today's show. Give me the over 6 in the Islanders and the Montreal Canadiens. As I said earlier, I like a high-scoring game. My prediction, 4-3 overtime win for the Montreal Canadiens. And as I said earlier, don't be surprised if Cole Caulfield is the one that wins it for the Montreal Canadiens. But head over to picksandparlays.net, pmp.buzz/te will get you a direct link there. The best special on the site right now, 3-day all-access pass for all hockey plays, $49. And my plays on the site today, NHL side play and an NBA play, both available over pmp.buzz/te over on the site. But we will jump into the chat here and see the last comment. I want to fade the Oilers. Watchtower play is like watching women's hockey versus men's. Yeah. Excellent show. Thank you, Terry. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. And we will see you guys on the next show. Thanks, guys.